Yo, what's good guys? So have any of these clips happened to you? Or you're just minding your own business, playing the game, chilling with your friends, then out of nowhere, BAM!
Gotcha, bitch!
Or how about this? You're chilling, a jutsu misses you, then out of nowhere, yeet!
Look at this dude.
In today's video, we'll be going over tracking, which is one of the core principles of this game and can seem a little random at times for newer and experienced players. Tracking isn't as simple as firing a jutsu and it'll try its best to connect to your opponent, nor is it as simple as firing a jutsu and it has a mind of its own, although it may seem like that. BAM! In this game, tracking has 4 key properties to them, and some of them you may even recognize. And if you don't, that's alright. Let's take a look at how these properties work within the game. First, let's start by understanding the property called maximum angle. This number is the determining factor of how tight a ability could track towards you. For example, let's look at it from a bird's eye view to get a better understanding. Let's say that we want to hit Hanabi with a Amaterasu using Itachi. In order for that to happen, the ability will need to travel within a straight line to reach her. But what happens when she moves? Then how would the Amaterasu reach her? And this is where the maximum angle comes into play, which is just a number that determines the degree of the angle. And if you haven't learned this in math class, don't worry. Just know this: the smaller the number, the larger the turn radius, and the bigger the number, the tighter the turn radius will be. Let's say that the Amaterasu has a maximum angle of 112. As long as Hanabi is within view of that 112 degree angle, the Amaterasu will go straight to her. And if Hanabi steps behind the field of view, or aka the blind spot, the Amaterasu will try its best to turn around and track back towards you. But that's not the case for every ability within the game, because all abilities have its own properties such as speeds, maximum angles, or even activating a jutsu while in the air. It may perform differently than the grounded version. Tracking is a broad concept. Not only does it exist within all abilities within this game, there's a lot of subtopics and rules that it must follow outside of itself. Let's use Darui's jutsu as an example. So the speed and angle that it comes at us from can be manipulated by a single sidestep. But if we call him out as a support, the spawn point will be set at a new angle. This means that our sidestep will not be as effective unless we account for that slight angle difference. A rule to always keep in mind is that tracking is only set to the active player that's on the field. What I mean by that is, whatever jutsu that's coming at my active leader that's on the field and I switch, the jutsu will no longer be tracking me. Unless if I switch back to that character and whatever that was pursuing me is still active on the field. One thing that you'll notice about this game is that you and your opponent will share the same camera angle. Because of this, there will be a continual fight to have the camera angle in your advantage and your opponent's disadvantage. This is important because the camera angles will constantly be changing within the game, which also means the abilities that are tracking you will be changing as well. The tip for that is to always keep in mind the spawn location and how the ability will track to you, so you can handle the situation accordingly. There are 2 more things I want to mention about tracking, which are movement can positively or negatively affect the ability's tracking. And there are instances where tracking starts later on rather than immediately when it spawns. An example would be Orochimaru's snake form, and abilities with multiple stages of tracking. You can think of characters like Mecha Naruto. My personal favorite character that exercises this role is Darui, because when he goes into his tilt, it allows for him to transition into a combo. Because of this, the tilt and the combo will separately check for the enemy's active position. This is why Darui will sometimes turn around.
Real style.